All right, I'm so glad that Jenn could be here with us today. This is University Parents with Janice and Jenn. Hi from both of us. And we are so excited to be able to have a little chance to share with our incoming and our current parents some of the best academic supports that Trinity Western University offers our families. Because we know that at the end of the day, that the more you know as parents, the better you can support your sons and daughters. So I'll start with introductions. My name is Janice Nickel, and hang on, let's see if I can get there we are. My name is Janice Nickel, and I direct the Parent and Family Network here at Trinity Western University. I love helping families have a remarkable experience when they send their kids to Trinity. And that looks different for every family. Sometimes if you're a parent, you just might be happy to open an email. And sometimes you want to be involved as a volunteer, or you want to help coordinate a parent chapter in your home, or work as an ambassador somehow for Trinity Western University. And we love it. We love seeing our families engaged. But my role as a liaison for you is to help you guys know whatever resources you need to best support your sons and daughters as well. And one of our greatest resources, maybe it's one of our secret sauces besides our community, is Jenn Skelding of the Learning Commons. Jenn is the executive director of the Learning Commons, and she is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to all the different resources to help your students succeed academically at Trinity. And not just academically, I would say, and then some. So Jenn, can you tell us a little bit about you, maybe how we got to know each other, or maybe a little bit about what we have in common?
Sure, Janice, thanks. I love being here with you today and always talking to parents, because you know this, but not everybody does. I'm also a Trinity mom. I have one son moving into his second year in the School of Education, and then my youngest child coming to Trinity in the fall as a Spartan athlete and another education student. And then my other side hustle here at Trinity is I teach in the School of Education. I'm a part-time faculty member there. So I'm thrilled to be here today and to be talking about academic supports. And Janice, when I think about you, and I think about our connection points, when I first arrived at Trinity 2 years ago, a lot of people would say, "Hi, Janice," as I was walking down the hall, because we look an awful lot alike from behind and a little bit from the front. Yeah. And then we both found out, and that was just the most intense compliment ever, to be called Janice Nickel.
Yeah, well, thanks, Jenn.
And then to find out that we're both from Ontario. Yes. In fact, we grew up very close to one another. Yeah. I'm in Stony Creek, and you were in Oakville. Yeah. And then our last point of connection, and ironically, this was by God's design and not our own. Mm-hmm. Our sons were roommates together in Douglas in the fall semester of the last academic year. Yeah. And our two guys got to know each other well, and I know that my son enjoyed many, many times out at your family farm. Yeah. And loved the hospitality that your family extended to him. So nothing but thankful for those connections that have brought us together.
I agree 100%. We love hosting things at our farm, and that's been a gift from God for sure. That we both love, my husband and I both love hospitality. We met at Trinity, and that was actually something I really admired about him. Like, oh, his family's hospitable. He likes hospitality. I'm like, mine too. So anyway, so today we're going to just get started. We have a 4 weeks series that we're going to be going through, and we want to make this available to you guys. So first of all, my question for you is, okay, goes like this. There's many universities out there, okay, lots that students can consider. What sets Trinity Western apart? What sets us up for success that we can best help our students succeed?
Well, I think I represent the Learning Commons, obviously. You can go to many institutions and find a Learning Commons in those schools. Learning Commons are centralized supports for learning for students at every stage in their learning zone. But the thing that makes us truly unique is the same thing that makes Trinity amazing. And that's the, the liberal tablespoon of spiritual formation and the love of Jesus. And, the love that staff members have and the care that goes into supporting our students. Our mission statement in the Learning Commons is we exist to help students persist and thrive as scholars, but also thrive as human beings who are growing more and more in the image of God and moving towards their vocational destination. So that's our raison d'etre. We also, our tagline for students when we talk about why we exist is that when they first arrive in their first year, we say, welcome friends, we've got you. We're here, we've got you. And we say that in hashtags and we post that all over the campus so that by the end of their first year at university, we transition that to you've got this. Yeah. So we welcome them in, we wrap supports around them, and then we gradually release them into their own confidence and into their own understanding of who they are as a scholar. And I think that's a unique piece for the Trinity Learning Commons and the academic supports that are found in our school.
Well, I love the Learning Commons space. Like it used to be, before you came, it used to be upstairs and it was kind of like awkward for students to kind of go up there. And it is now front and center in the most prestigious part of our library. And it is a beautiful space. Can you tell me why it's one of our students' favorite spaces? Tell us what about it and how it works.
I sure can. I'm just going to share my screen so that you can see it a little bit, because not everyone will have had the chance to be in and take a look at what happens in the Learning Commons. Okay, so when you go to our webpage, twu.ca Learning Commons, you'll see this video that shows what the main floor of the Norma Marion Alloway Library and Learning Commons looks like. It's an interactive, neutral, collaborative space that was designed to have a bit of an IKEA feel, a bit of a Google Hangout feel, so that students are collaborative and talking. They can eat there, they can drink there, they can work there. And you'll notice even these study spaces that the students are working in here have vertical whiteboards where they collaborate and they write. They write out, we'll see often math problems or business statements. And our staff exist around the periphery of this awesome space, all in a one-stop shop. This is a central hub for campus. And as you can see from this little mini video, it's always full. And there are quite a number of supports and resources there to support students all the time.
That's super helpful. Like, okay, so you've got an amazing team that you've created there that you get to work with. And what staff are there and what do they do?
Okay, great question, Janice. Thanks for asking. So I'm just going to leave my screen share on so that I can show you that there are 7 different unique functions in the Learning Commons. One is academic advising. Now, most students at Trinity have a faculty advisor that works them through their academic journey and helps prepare the courses and their pathway through to degree completion and conferral. But some students are still exploring their major. And so we have professional advisors in the Learning Commons, and then the Learning Commons also coordinates academic advising on campus. We have personal and career development staff, including a certified career counselor, to help students really understand who they are, who God has gifted them to be, what their unique strengths are as they work towards their vocational destination, the way God is calling them. Then we have the Center for Accessible Learning, which is for students who come with learning exceptionalities. And we'll talk about that on May 27th. I know we're going to have another special guest on the Jenn and Janice show. On the Janice and Jenn show. I love it too. I think we need a jingle.
Oh, we've got the jingle. I'll have to put it into music form for them.
And then we also have Learning Community One, which is a really unique bridge program for students coming into university. Success coaching, one of my favorite things. We have certified executive coaches working with students individually and in small groups, supporting them to meet their goals and take them to the next level. Supplemental instruction is a peer-led, facilitated learning support. We took a look at the most challenging courses at Trinity, and what we decided to do to help those courses and help our students in them, we hired students who ace the course.
Oh, yeah.
We pay them to take the course again, to sit with their peers, and then to run at least 1 or 2 study sessions throughout the week with the brand new students in the course. We found that if students attend a supplemental instruction session with a peer leader, that their GPA, if they attend more than 3 times, their GPA goes up by 1 point in that course. And that's pretty powerful. And then also we have our favorites. One of our favorite spots is the Writing Center. So students can get peer-led support in their academic writing. All of those things exist in that great space.
Okay, that's pretty amazing. We have some remarkable professors at Trinity Western. And how would you advise students about communicating with their profs? Like, are they approachable? Is that okay?
Yes, all of our profs are fully student-centric and want to be communicating with their students. One of the special features about an academic journey at Trinity is that we're small enough that every student is known by name.
Awesome.
So faculty members notice when they're not there. Faculty members call on students by name. And the most underutilized feature that a faculty member offers to students is office hours. And students don't often know what that means. What are office hours? So in the first year experience, we run a number of mini sessions called Start Strong. And one of them is, what do you do in an office hour? And what are some conversation starters that you'll use with your faculty member? We also review how to write an email to a professor so that you know what's expected and they really start to understand the professional tone of an email that they would write to a faculty member. And then also in orientation week, we always hold a very popular event called the Prof Panel, where we ask some of our most favorite professors on campus to come to the Commons, and we interview them like Jimmy Fallon and ask them some questions about their best learning experiences and their biggest failures.
Sure.
And students just come to realize that my profs are really smart, but also super human, and they care deeply about students.
They really do. And I can attest to that. I was a student twice over. I did my undergrad at Trinity, did my master's at Trinity. But, you know, we've got freshmen that come in right out of high school and, you know, the transition might be a little bit hard for them. What do you advise if a student happens to not take advantage of your resources and fails a class? What happens?
Yeah, great question. When that happens, we found the best thing for a student to do is to get help. To come in and normalize the experience, because the first message that they receive is, well, you're not alone. You know, many of us, including myself, have struggled through failure at university, and there is always a road to recover in that time. In fact, we have an informal GPA calculator that we use with students when they come in to help them determine what's their most efficient and most financially sound way to recover their GPA. And we connect them with some of the professional supports in the Commons, like the career counselor, Joelle Turner, who sits down with a student and asks the questions, because maybe that student is not aligned in their passion area or where their gifting is in terms of their major. So we ask some questions to help them grow and develop and figure out a path forward. But our goal is always to reduce the shame, to normalize the experience, to make sure that they know this is part of the learning journey. I mean, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Wayne Gretzky.
Thank you, Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, I'm a hockey mom. I totally know that quote. Okay, so here's another question then related to grades, because sometimes students, they may not be excelling and actually their grades are quite low and they get put on academic probation. What does that mean?
Okay, well, we have 3 categories of academic probation at Trinity. Academic warning, which is the least. We have academic probation right in the middle, and then we have academic accountability. In every case, there are a series of things that a student needs to do in order to remove an academic probation category. But that's where we come in. That's an academic policy. and then the supports come in to support a student. So we have specialized classes called study skills. We have the coaching relationship where we set a student up with a coach. We bring in our career counselor. We partner with the wellness center, and we start to explore, okay, now what? And maybe there's a peer that we connect with another student in this space, and we allow them to journey through this with the resources and supports. They have 3 semesters to get their GPA above a cumulative 2.0, and sometimes there are ways of doing that, like simply repeating a course. Okay. The best success story that I could share with you right now. Hi.
Someone new joined our group. Okay,
I love it.
Hey guys, sorry.
Hey,
hi, welcome.
We're recording, Elizabeth, so we're happy to have you join us. Okay, so she's just explaining about academic probation.
So I just had the best news shared with me from an academic advisor. One of our students this was his 3rd time taking one course. And the first 2 times, the first time was failure. The second time was okay, but not good enough to bump up his GPA. And the 3rd time, he aced it. Okay. So we all did a little happy dance in the Learning Commons because that's significant for that student. He persisted and he worked through it. Now, that's hard work, but sometimes that's what students undergo to remove the category of academic probation.
Okay, so a question that was brought up was if a child has come into university saying they want to be a doctor and they're in the sciences, but all of a sudden they've changed their major, not once, twice, maybe even 3 times. Like, is this okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And it's normal. But where we really work with the student is to make sure that their courses aren't in vain, that we can still apply them to their checklist and get them to the end of their degree without adding on an extra semester, and making sure that they have the requirements for their new major. That's totally normal, because as students grow and learn, they start to discover, oh, this is what I was meant to study. Right. This is where I'm feeling energized. This is maybe where God is calling and leading me. And so that's where we help students pivot and shape them in the way that they need to go.
Okay. So say a student is going through maybe a personal struggle, maybe they've had a health issue or their family's going through maybe a death in the family. Where do they go when they need support?
Right. I think that I love this question because I think that I can safely say a student could go to any staff member or faculty member on campus to access the support that they need. Everyone at Trinity is designed with a heart to respond to support the student whenever they need it. And in fact, when that happens, when an athletic coach or an academic coach, when a faculty member or an amazing Janice Nickel, a student shares something with them, all of those staff and faculty members have access to something at Trinity called the Student Care Alert. And the Student Care Alert comes into a centralized place, and a point person is attached to managing and coordinating that for the student. People in the student's 360 in their surround are informed what they need to know, but not more than, because confidentiality is key. And then a plan is put in place to support that student during that time. And I've always seen patience and grace and love extended in those spaces. And each student is handled uniquely and individually in those times. So it's a mechanism for all of us to come together.
That's really cool. Thank you for sharing. So if say a parent calls me in the parent department and says, hey, this crisis is happening, who do I alert?
Yes, you could come to the Learning Commons, Janice, and say, this is going on for that student.
Yeah.
You could also go to Student Life and stop in there and say, this is happening, because this is where the academic side of the university and the community life side of the university come together. Yeah. This is where we intersect because we share the same students and we just want what's best for them. Yeah. So you could go to either place.
Yeah, I love what makes Trinity so special, because you can go anywhere for a degree and you'll get a fine degree, but it's the and then some that make Trinity so special. And not that I'm trying to sell the university. I've just seen it in action year after year, and caring profs and caring staff and a caring community, and watching young people have their lives absolutely transformed for the kingdom, and then get a good degree at the same time. I'm like, I love this. It doesn't, we can't guarantee a student will have that experience, but you get what you put into it sometimes as well. And we do have the supports in place. So sometimes we can't know if a student is struggling unless a parent alerts us, but then at the same time, we have to respect their privacy as well. So there's all these little supports in place, but we're here for you. I have a question then, speaking of parents, is it okay for parents to email a prof and say, hey, I heard this, is this true? Or how come my student's not getting an A+ in your class? They are an A+ student all through high school.
No,
what can we do? No.
that's
Okay.
That's a hard pass.
Okay.
I know we want to. I'm a mom too. I
Yeah.
know that we want to, but that's a hard no.
Okay.
Do not email your children. Do not email them their professor. Rather, instead, equip your child.
No.
If you need to edit an email, or you need to script out a call or a conversation during office hours, that's what a parent does to support. But if you start to communicate directly with the professor, you might create a barrier that becomes challenging for your child to navigate between, because the prof may push back and say, no, I need to comply with freedom of information and privacy law in BC. I cannot talk to the parent. So make sure that you rather equip your child, or you could reach out to me and I can help you equip or call your child in and help equip them.
And this mug, I just picked up my mug to have a little sip, and it made me realize, yes, when we have parents that start at Trinity, we love to give them a parent mug. And this mug, I always call parents to say, what do you do with the mug? You pray for Trinity and you pray for your student when you have your morning coffee or tea. And so that's another piece of the puzzle, is your prayers for your sons and daughters.
Absolutely.
And that it's not a mistake that God brings them here, and it's a very special place that he's at work. So I love that. You know, I thought now would be a good time if we had questions or anything else. Did you, Elizabeth, did you have anything, Liz, you wanted to add, or any questions you might have?
Well, Elizabeth is on mute.
She's on mute, that's fine.
But Jenn, I think you can unmute Elizabeth.
Oh, I can?
Yeah. Oh, there, she's got it.
Okay, good. This is fun, we're always learning.
Yeah, no, it's good to know where to go to get, or to direct the student to get support.
Good. Yes. The Learning Commons is centrally located, and students, you can come, or students can come anytime.
Okay, yeah, and that's good to know as well, because it's frustrating when you're encouraging them to go,
and
you know they need to go, and they don't go.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Also, we oftentimes what we do, if we know that a student, oftentimes a faculty member will recognize that a student needs support. And so we sometimes reach out directly to students, but we often enact the broader supports. For instance, if a student is in a residence, we contact the residence director and say, we need to work together on this. The student needs to come to the Learning Commons. How do we do it? And we work in the background to draw them in.
What about student athletes?
Oh, student athletes, yes, Spartans. We work with them very specifically to help them with their Complete Champion, because they're carrying quite a deal, quite a great load of responsibility with their practice schedule and their academic schedule. So we connect them with peer tutors and coaching, academic coaching. And
what does it mean to be, how do you become a peer tutor? Because maybe we've got parents that are like, hey, that could be a great opportunity for my student. Is it a paid position? Is it volunteer? How does it work?
Yes, well, we employ, most of our employees beyond the staff in the Learning Commons are all peers. They're all student employees. So if a GPA is a B+ or higher in a cumulative area, we hire them to come in and work as peer writing coaches or peer tutors in specific courses, or a peer advisor, or even a concierge to welcome and to shepherd in the Learning Commons. And then our peer tutor program is a unique program where we check their transcript, and they hang their sign as a side hustle. I'll tutor in Business 176, and when a student comes in, we say, hey, did you know that this student will tutor? The student charges $15 an hour, and it's handled directly between the two peers.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. So it's a great way to make extra money while you're at Trinity as well.
Little side hustle.
Love it. Love it. My friend cut hair when she was at Trinity. Her name was Leslie. She said, why pay more when you can pay less? Sorry. I always thought that was kind of clever. So anyway, well, this has been super helpful for our families that are looking to come to Trinity. They might have more questions. So after we're done, we're going to have you put together an email, and then we'll have it as a resource for families that they can access as well. So thank you so much, Jen. It was fun. The reason we love the Janice and Jenn theme is from a Christmas carol. It's the hope of Barney and Ben, the wishes of Janice and Jenn. Da, 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 da. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. There you go. So that's how we came up with that. We'll have to come up with a theme music next time. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Elizabeth. And
Elizabeth, where are you from?
Well, this has been so much fun to be able to be with you, Jen and Liz. I'm glad you're able to join us. And I know that there's going to be so many other parents that join us virtually through the video afterwards. Thank you for being here. I look forward to next time. All right. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Janice.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.